there's something to be said about cleanliness. I think I think everyone can agree here that there's something to be said about that. Um, Mainly, I'm just thinking about the AIDS that came into my home. AIDS, basically. There are many different kinds of AIDS. 96 different kinds of AIDS. I mean, you probably won't hear that because there are a lot of freaks out there that want to use diseases and DNA and blood and spills and creations and hearsay events and stories as weapons against you. But anyway, so I went to the Walmart and I bought um, I think 8 towels to begin with when I moved into this place a year ago. 2 of each color they had. I really just wanted yellow, but they were out the day that I went to yellow. Um, it's not significant of anything other than I like the color. But there are a lot of schizophrenics. I'm surrounded by schizophrenics basically that want to say I'm schizophrenic because they're trying to murder or commit crimes and defame. So when you're outnumbered by 29,999 schizophrenics and you're the one that's not, then probably you're going to be singled out. That just makes sense. That's logic. So I'm the oddball out here. They also think that people with educations that make sense are schizophrenic, unless like actual astronauts or scientists and police and the news tell you it's finally real. So where I grew up, there was a compound. People broke off into many other hate groups. They say it never went away. The grocery store getting shot at, even though she was one of them, was fake news. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I don't think it was entirely accurate, but I don't think it was fake news either. Like one day, we got kidnapped, everybody my age, and they dropped us off out there, and they're like, we need $9, and like, I don't even have $9, and I'm supposed to be at school. I'm sure it's a Thursday, and then they changed it to like, we need $13 for each of you to keep walking. I mean, they were really, really strange. A lot of weird stuff happened. And I'm going to tell you that, something did try to get her in her car, but ultimately she did make it back to her hate compound out there. And so, like, there's the Patriot Front, and everybody's like, I'm white pride, and I'm power this, and I'm power that. They're like, we're Patriot Front, we're Sons of Anarchy, we're Sam, we're Sam Crow, we're all this, and every time you have a thought, they try to make you prove it. So there's like the stench of death everywhere. They also believe that cloning tissue and mixing and matching of parts is a good idea, not going to lead them to death or deformity. And so when somebody comes to town that hasn't done that yet, they're like, mine, dibs, that one's mine. And that's the result of hate. There's a lot of incest here too. So they're like they say that all the time, and it's like not true. Now that we've done incest for so long, we've bred our way out of incest, and that's the exact opposite of what happens. So then, when you get somebody that's fit that comes to town, that's not inbred or retarded, they're like, I'm gonna be famous next. Like that's how inbred they are, and how retarded these hate clubs are. But again, I'm just one person that wasn't involved, that didn't want to be involved, outnumbered by what the standard number of what's in this city, 30,000. So 29,999 beers, basically, and they're like, we married out through religion, and like that might be so, but I also left them, and they're also inbred. They are. We were outnumbered a lot by like every family related and cousins already in the 1990s. It was bad. And what makes it worse is that they kept genealogy records, so like family tree, DNA, photographs, historic documents, very, very secret. And they also did want into people's bank accounts. They wanted a lot of churches ask for donations or tithing, but they think that you're going to hell if you don't give them 10% of everything. And so even when you leave, it's been like since like 1997 since I've gone there on purpose. And like I actually did smoke cigarettes with cocaine in it. And like I was already stoned on THC and marijuana, probably on an acid or hallucinogenic mushroom come down. And I was like, it's been 3 days. I'm fine with this cocaine cigarette now. And that much I didn't want to go there. And then after, and that wasn't enough. That wasn't. They're just like, please quit smoking. And after that, I did become a lesbian openly, but that's because I forgot I was a man that had been castrated and ripped apart for body parts. Um, so now I remember that, and I still don't want to go there, and I don't think they can help. I still don't want to have children with them as a man or a woman. None of that. And not anyone else. You don't have to be like a Satanist next door or like to rape your way into, they think actually also the hate clubs and the inbred people who have joined some of the hobos from out of town who are just slightly larger and less deformed and more agile at violence, I guess. Um, they join them anyway, and they're like, I think I can breed that mutt out of retardation. It'll learn. It'll turn. It'll change its mind. And it's like, no, I won't. A lot of them are very, very pro-life and pro-heterosexual as well. They claim to be, but they're always going into butts and stuff, and they're like, that's a sign of heterosexual dominance. I mean, and here I am making obvious sense, and every day they're like, that's the retard that squawks. You know, if it makes sense, they're like, just the parts that make sense, see if I can get an A. I failed 3 times in a row. Or they're like, I'm pretty sure I could sell this right now. Just one of the thoughts could be a lifetime of work for one of us, and we're going to get fame with the other 29,998. But again, the stench of death is horrible because it's a city that was overrun, I guess, by hate clubs and stuff. And then